Hello everyone, I am Shahira Ali and I will be reading an extract from Prometheus by Josephine Preston Peabody. In the early days of the universe, there was a great struggle for empire between Zeus and the Titans. The Titans, giant powers of heaven and earth, were for seizing whatever they wanted, with no more ado than a whirlwind. Prometheus, the wisest of all their race, long tried to persuade them that good counsel would avail more than violence, but they refused to listen. Then, seeing that such rulers would soon turn heaven and earth into chaos again, Prometheus left them to their own devices and went over to Zeus, whom he aided so well that the Titans were utterly overthrown. Down into Tartarus they went, to live among the hidden fires of the earth, and there they spent a long term of bondage, muttering like storm, and shaking the roots of mountain. One of them was Enceladus, who lay bound under Etna, and one, Atlas, was made to stand and bear up the weight of the sky on his giant shoulders. Zeus was left king of gods and men. Like any young ruler, he was eager to work great changes with his new power. Among other plans, he proposed to destroy the race of men then living, and to replace it with some new order of creatures. Prometheus alone heard this scheme with indignation. Not only did he plead for the life of man and save it, but ever after he spent his giant efforts to improve the race and to endow it with a wit near to that of gods. In the Golden Age, men had lived free of care. They took no heed of daily wants, since Zeus gave them all things needful, and the earth brought forth fruitage and harvest without asking the toil of husbandmen. If mortals were light of heart, however, their minds were empty of great enterprise. They did not know how to build or plant or weave. Their thoughts never flew far, and they had no wish to cross the sea. But Prometheus loved earthly folk, and thought that they had been children long enough. He was a mighty workman, with the whole world for a workshop, and little by little he taught men knowledge that is wonderful to know, so that they grew out of their childhood and began to take thought for themselves. Some people even say that he knew how to make men, as we make shapes out of clay, and set their 5 wits going. However that may be, he was certainly a cunning workman. He taught men first to build huts out of clay and to thatch roofs with straw. He showed them how to make bricks and hew marble. He taught them numbers and letters, the signs of the seasons, and the coming and going of the stars. He showed them how to use for their healing the simple herbs that once had no care save to grow and be fragrant. He taught them how to till the fields, how to tame the beasts, and set them also to work, how to build ships that ride the water, and to put wings upon them that they may go faster like birds. With every new gift, men desired more and more. They set out to see unknown lands, and their ambitions grew with their knowledge. They were like a race of poor gods gifted with dreams of great glory and the power to fashion marvelous things. And though they had no endless youth to spend, the gods were troubled. Last of all, Prometheus went up secretly to heaven after the treasure of the immortals. He lighted a reed at the flame of the sun and brought down the holy fire, which is dearest to the gods. For with the aid of fire all things are possible, all arts are perfected. This was his greatest gift to man. But it was a theft from the immortal gods, and Zeus would endure no more. He could not take back the secret of fire, but he had Prometheus chained to a lofty crag in the Caucasus. It was a bitter penalty for so noble-hearted a rebel. And as time went by, and Zeus remembered his bygone services, he would have made peace once more. He only waited till Prometheus should bow his stubborn spirit. But this the son of Titans would not do. Haughty as rock beneath his daily torment, believing that he suffered for the good of mankind, he endured for years. At last, that earlier enmity between the gods and the Titans came to an end. The banished rebels were set free from Tartarus, and they themselves came and besought their brother, Prometheus, to hear the terms of Zeus. For the king of gods and men had promised to pardon his enemy, if he would only reveal his one troublous secret. In all heaven and earth there was but one thing that marred the new harmony, this long struggle between Zeus and Prometheus. And the Titan relented. He spoke the prophecy, warned Zeus not to marry Thetis, and the two were reconciled. But it was still needful that a life should be given to expiate that ancient sin, the theft of fire. It happened in Chiron, noblest of all the centaurs, who are half horses and half men, was wandering the world in agony from a wound that he had received by strange mischance. For at a certain wedding feast among the Lapiti of Thessaly, one of the turbulent centaurs had attempted to steal. A fierce struggle followed, and in the general confusion, Chiron, blameless as he was, had been wounded by a poisoned arrow. Ever tormented with the hurt and never to be healed, the immortal centaur longed for death, and begged that he might be accepted as an atonement for Prometheus. The gods heard his prayer and took away his pain and his immortality. He died like any wearied man, and Zeus set him as a shining archer among the stars. So ended a long feud. From the day of Prometheus, men spent their lives in ceaseless enterprise, forced to take heed for food and raiment, since they knew how, and to ply their tasks of art and handicraft. They had taken unresting toil upon them, but they had a wondrous servant at their beck and call, the bright-eyed fire that is the treasure of the gods. And that's it for me. on today's episode of Virtual Storytime. Hope you enjoyed.